Now the chairlift. Chairlift is usually the one thing that messes most beginning snowboarders up. Don't let it psych you out. 90% of chairlift problems is right up here in the head. If you can one-footed glide, you can get off a chairlift, no problem. A couple of techniques that are going to help you out is getting on the chairlift. Number one thing you got to remember is you got a snowboard on your foot, so you're always traveling sideways, which means when you're standing in the lift line, you got to make sure that your snowboard is pointed the way the lift is going to take you. So I'm standing sideways. What's going to happen is the chair is going to come up beside me, bump me in the side of the leg. I'm going to sit down sort of half on, half off the chairlift, take my free hand, hold on to the back of the chair. Don't turn and sit in the chair too soon, because it's very important as the chair takes off over the ramp. You want to make sure you keep your snowboard pointed straight. Otherwise, if it gets crooked, you can catch on that ramp there. So once you clear the ramp, just leaving the loading area, you can then go ahead and sit back in the chair like normal. But it's very, very important to make sure you keep that snowboard pointed the way the chairlift's going to go. That's getting on the chairlift. Now, for the getting off the chairlift, there's a couple of things. That usually psychs people out. Number one thing that happens to people when they get off the chairlift, they lean back too much onto their back foot. They get off and they're like this. Don't do that. Remember, keep that weight centered. So when you're on a ramp coming off, you're going to feel like you're leaning way forward. In fact, I actually, in the beginning stages of getting off a chairlift, go ahead and lean forward a little aggressively. Imagine you've got about a 1-foot piece of rope tied to the nose of your snowboard and you're reaching down to grab it. Keep those shoulders straight. The other thing getting off the chairlift is vitally important. You got to position your body the way it was to get on the chairlift, which means you got to scoot yourself around so that you're sitting on the chair, half on one cheek, half off the other, and with your everything, your knee and your ankle relaxed, with the board just hanging. The nose of that board should be pointed exactly the way you're going to go off that unloading ramp. If it's crooked, what's going to happen is one edge or the other is going to catch, and it's going to cause your board to veer one way or the other, a direction you're not expecting. So set yourself upright. Make sure you got that board pointed straight. The other thing too is a nice trick is go ahead and have your back foot already on your stomp pad as you're sitting in the chair. You might take your free hand, help hold your leg up to keep the nose high. That way, when you get off the chairlift, all you got to do is stand up. Also, with your free hand, push against the seat cushion. Lean forward, keep those shoulders straight, look where you want to go, and push off that seat cushion. Use that chair for balance. Okay, with that, we're going to go through the procedure. For those who have never got on a chairlift before, you got two places that you're going to stop. You've got the waiting line. That's where you're waiting for the people in front of you to load the chair. So soon as their chair goes by, you're going to follow it out. Don't waste any time here, because you'll end up being chased out by your chair. Once you follow that chair out, you get up to the actual loading area there, and that's where you're going to get ready to load your chair. So with that, we'll go ahead and get on the chairlift and ride up to the top. Let's go, man. Good. Taking some videos here for training. Yeah. Up the top of the hill and you got both feet strapped in, getting up can be a little bit more of a challenge than it was before. A couple of tips that's going to help you out. First thing you want to do is when you're sitting on the hill like this is make sure you have your board completely across the fall line, which is the direct path down the hill. The reason for that is when you get up, you don't want the board starting to slide one way or the other out from you. So I'm going to position my body so that my board's across the fall line. And when I get up, I don't want this board slipping out from under me, so I'm going to kind of build myself a little platform by chopping, and that kind of locks the board in. Now when I'm ready to get up, I use my back feet, or sorry, my hands, and kind of crab walk and get my rear as close to the edge of the board as I can. Knees bent. If I can grab the front of my board, I get up. Now when I'm standing up, I want to keep balanced on that heel edge, because the minute I let that board flatten out, it's going to start into a side slip down the hill, which is going to be the next thing we do. If you have trouble getting up this way, and a lot of people do, and once you get to where you can make turns, the easiest way to get up is facing uphill. So let's go over that. So I'll sit back down. So if you're sitting like this, real easy way to get yourself flipped over. Lay on your back, pick your board up, scissor your leg, and hop over. From this position, same thing applies. You want to get that board across the hill so it doesn't slide out from you. Also, anchor it in, and then you just push yourself up. So from here, you want to balance on your toe edge, because if you flatten that board out, it's going to slide down the hill. So when you're on that toe edge, you want to make sure you keep those heels lifted so that your shin is actually resting on the tongue of your boot a little bit. Get down kind of low. And that's really all there is to getting up.